So this is part two of, unemployed. So when you get a job interview, pray and just ask God to just speak through you. Pray and ask God for his divine favor. Don't pray that, I encourage you not to pray that you get the job, but pray for God's will. That's what I do. I'm like, Lord, like if this is the job you have for me, I pray for your divine favor, and I pray that you allow me to get the job. But if this is not your will for me, if this is not what you have for me, I pray that you close the door. So God has been answering my prayers, because I've been getting a lot of rejections and a lot of being ghosted. I've had 3 in-person interviews this year. So my first interview this year was February the 18th, rejection. And then my second interview was March the 31st, and I haven't heard back, and it's April the 16th. So it's probably a no, because they had already told me that they had interviewed a lot of people on that day, and I believe they said they had one more person to interview that next day, which was April the 1st, and then a decision would be made, and then I would hear back possibly, I think like this week right here. So if I don't hear back tomorrow, I can hang it up. But it is what it is, because truth be told, that interview, the vibes were just not there. Like, it wasn't like good energy or whatever. So yeah, I don't think that was for me anyway. And I also did have one other interview this year, and then I also had a phone interview on April the 3rd. A phone screening. Yeah, I would say a phone screening. So yeah, it is what it is. I'm waiting on God to open the right door, and I encourage you to do the same. Don't get so excited when you get an interview. Like, we don't want to get our hopes up and get too excited just because we get an interview, because just because we get an interview, that doesn't mean it's a yes, right? We can get an interview and still have a rejection letter or get ghosted. So we don't want to be too excited, right? And we want to pray and ask God to help us to be able to accept whatever the outcome is. Because I remember that interview I had on February the 18th. I thought that was the job for me. It was part-time. It was, the position I was looking for. And I thought it was for me. And I went to that interview on February the 18th. And I got rejected right at the interview. And I broke down, y'all. Like, I was crying. I was upset. And I was just so emotionally disturbed. I really had thought that was for me. And, the person that interviewed me was very understanding. She was very compassionate and caring and speaking life, speaking encouragement over me. And when I got home, I still was crying and upset, and I was just giving it to God. And so I just want to encourage you guys not to get too excited because you get an interview, because you don't want to be all the way up here and then that rejection come and you don't know how to handle it, So I just thank God for helping me to get through that. That just means that wasn't what God had for me,